Let me just make sure, check my microphone here. I think everything looks good. That's showcase the beauty of Liberia. This is called Bless. It's by a Liberian artist, and that's what we tend to do here. I call Bless, Hope, Love. We hope to bring all of these people here, but in the meantime, let's just go to this song. Say, I am blessed. Right now, oh, yeah. Take a good look at me, yeah. Oh, bless, oh, yeah. Didn't know I would be this far, yeah. Take a look at. Okay, we want to welcome our man, Mikey Manu, to whatever you are. Good afternoon. Thank you for being a regular follower of the Liberia Public Radio and LPR TV. You also need suggestions and how we can improve our services. Very shortly, I will be hosting the Honorable Larry Younquoi of District Number 8, Nima County, Republic of Liberia, will be joining me very shortly. But in the meantime, let's go with the song called Call Me Blessed by Hope Love. So a lot of good things inside Liberia. So we have to showcase, we have to find time where we can bring artists, people in different background to get them all here. To crazy hot water here. The AC not even helping me out here in studio, but we signed up to do this, right? Yeah, I'm blessed. I'm blessed. I'm blessed. Didn't know I would get this far. Yeah, didn't know it would be right now. Oh, yeah, I'm blessed. Hey, it doesn't matter where you are, whether you are in Liberia, you are in Australia, you are in the USA, you can serve your Lord. You can praise and worship. And she's right here, based here in the USA. Well, at some point in time, we're going to bring her here. And that's what we intend doing. Probably we'll have to pick up a Saturday where we're going to showcase the artists, whether it's in the secular world or in the gospel. Besides that, there's a big concept coming on right here. But in the meantime, let's feel blessed this afternoon. Didn't know it would be right now. Oh, yeah. Take a good look at me, yeah. Oh, bless, oh, yeah. Didn't know I would be this far, yeah. Take a look at me right now. Take a look. Can you believe that? That's a Liberian. I am blessed. Oh yes, what a piece here. That's just a taste of it. Don't worry, you're going to see the artists involved. I am Alphonso Zean, of the Liberia Public Radio and the LPR TV. We want to welcome our viewers and listeners across the globe. Thank you for being here. We used to do this, and I'm happy that most of the artists, they are also reaching out. That's what we intend to do. Politics don't care anywhere, but we have to talk it, you know. So there are some good things that comes out of Liberia. We need to do that. If you are a minister of the gospel, you're a praise and worshiper, whatever you are, as long as you are the African, Nigerians, Ghanaians, Senegalese, or wherever you are, that's part of the African solidarity. And that's what we Liberia Public Radio to try to, and we will do at all times to represent the image of Liberia and by showing that sort of African solidarity with us. You know, we used to do it, but, you know, things went off the radar a little bit. And people thought like maybe LPR is getting money. All we try to do is to promote our culture and to talk the good versions of our country. But, you know, we kept receiving strike from YouTube, for which now we can say that our YouTube channel now is on hold until the 22nd of August. But right now, you can get us live on Facebook, on our Twitter line, and on the official website of the Liberia Public Radio. That is www.Liberia Public Radio. Live video is there. You can watch it. And we are hoping so, you know, sometimes things happen. You have to take some strong administrative policies. So we are happy. Some of the gospel artists just reach out to us. It's not going to cost you anything, nothing. We just need authorization so that when we play it, you know, we know it's difficult. Some of you have sponsors, and it's quite understandable. But once we have that bilateral understanding arrangement, we know what we're going. At least you know who is playing your music. And we just do not want to play it here. We intend to also bring you on here live video. Maybe we can bring love here. Why she's blessed. Is she getting a lot of money here? Okay, with much time I do. Let's go right here to breaking right now. My guest is here. Alphonso. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Welcome to this afternoon broadcast. It's 1:05 Eastern Standard Time. My guest is already here joining me here. Let me see if I can bring me. That's the Honorable Mailman, Honorable Larry P. Younquoi of District Number 8. Nima County, Republic of Liberia, is currently here with us and making a last and final pitch here on the Liberia Popular Radio. We're going to have a great discussion here. Let's see what's going to happen. Honorable man, I want to welcome you. Thank you to such a media-friendly guy here. Let's see what our difference here will last in the next 1 hour until the program comes to an end. Honorable Younquoi, good afternoon, and thank you for being here. Are you there? Can you check your microphone? Yeah, I think your mic is not open, so just make sure and check your microphone. Let's see if it is open. I see here is just open a microphone from your end. All right, your microphone is not open. Let me see if I can find a way to get to you. Just open your mic. Your mic is not open. I'm seeing from my end here, it's still lacking. Okay, let me see here while the honorable is doing making sure that it work out here. Let's see here. I want to welcome you. Thank you for being here. I'm still monitoring here. Once his microphone is opened, I'm going to get him back on here. I'm Alphonso Zean of the Liberia Popular Radio. Stay tuned. All right. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Thank you. My guess is we're getting the microphone to get it straightened up, and I assume we get that done. We're going to be right here. That's Minister to Warning is in Liberia. There's going to be a big gospel concert here. The commercials, the advertisement going to be coming out on the 9th of August. Over 18 artists in Liberia, in the USA, Europe, all over going to be a virtual concept here, I'm telling you. But breaking this hour, according to our correspondents in the provincial city of Zouadou, Grand County, one COVID case is reportedly confirmed in Grand County. According to our correspondent, just before coming on air, Abutori has confirmed with the New England Bureau. The health authority has confirmed one case of coronavirus in the southeastern city of county of Grand Jide. That's huge. That's significant. We don't know what it means and what's going to be the implications. We intend to make a follow-up. Remember, Grand Jide has been one of the counties, even from the Delta Ebola. Grand Jide was untouched, even up to this dying time. Grand Jide to remain untouched. Until today, our national correspondent based in the provincial city of Zuedru, Grangeda County, Abu Ture, is reporting that one COVID case is reported in Grangeda County. We hope to also reach a health authority to authenticate this developing news in the midst of all of that. Let's see here. I believe my guest is back here with us. Younquoi, are you there? Are you hearing me? I'm not sure what's going on with it. Can you check your microphone? Your mic is muted. That's the whole thing. If you can allow access to your microphone, your mic is muted. Just give access to your microphone, and we'll be good. Okay, so there's some little technical difficulties there. Hopefully, they're going to work again. Developing from the southeastern side of Liberia, Grangeda County is reporting the first COVID-19 case. According to our national correspondent based in the provincial city of Zuedru, Grangeda County, Republic of Liberia, the COVID case was reportedly confirmed with the New England Bureau this afternoon that one case is reported in Grangeda County. We hope we're going to get more details of that. We also want to bring you up to speed. Yesterday, there was a wild speculation that Dr. George Boley of the United People's Party was contemplating crossing over to CDC. In our follow-up to authenticate and verify this information, a close source told Dr. Boley, who happens to be the chief of staff to the representative, has confirmed that the Honorable Dr. George Boley still remained with the United People's Party, that's UPP of the late Gabriel Bacchus Matthews, and there are no further plans for the Honorable man to switch party affiliation. So far that we can say. We are also hearing quite fascinating from the southeastern side of Grangeda, two consecutive times. The ruling CDC party has overwhelmingly taken the southeastern side, but this year it is unclear as to what's going to happen following the visit of CDC Chairman Moloba Molu. Report we are getting. There seems to be some disenchantment right now. We can say it. Mr. Justin Gay and Justin Gate and Zoe Penno are the only registered person, apparently from the CDC. Moloba Moluto partisan that whoever wins the primary, we are here in the first week of August. Potentially, there will be the primary of the CDC in Grangeda County. So it's quite fascinating. Tommy Yaya Nimland and Mr. Giblo, Moloba call on those people that whoever wins that slot in the primary should must be obliged to support the candidate. That seems not to go well with them. So that seems to be the situation right now. We will keep bringing you news, and there's some bizarre news also coming here. According to our judicial correspondent, what a crazy time that we are in Liberia. Former Speaker Younquoi is now telling lawmakers he did not authorize the printing of the $16 billion. So then who gave the authorizations? That is quite interesting. Let's see. Hopefully this time it work around here. Let me bring him to our onboard. Younquoi. Honorable, are you there? Honorable Younquoi, are you there? Oh, this is unusual. Your microphone, and unfortunately, it is not from my end, so there's no way that I can unmute it. If you can grant access to your microphone, that would be good, and I will be able to have access to you. Your microphone is muted, so for this reason, we cannot get access to your audio. I wish I could do that from my end. Yes, just okay. Are you there? Younquoi, are you there? I'm getting a signal from you. I hope so, Fatima. I wish somebody could be around that to really like to help the honorable man. Younquoi, are you there? Okay, let me see here. I'm not sure, and I find it very difficult. Let me see if I can take a quick commercial break and then I see what else we can make. Honorable Younquoi, are you hearing me now?
I'm hearing you.
Okay, okay. Then let me just now. I think we are doing much better. Are you hearing me loud and clear?
I'm hearing you loud and clear.
Okay, good. All right, thank you. I don't want to be held in contempt. Why you LPR guys bring the honorable man and he cannot speak, and then when I land at the Rabat International Airport, I'm gonna be held in
No.
contempt. Okay, Honorable, thank you very much for joining us here this afternoon. Honestly, I do. Oh my goodness, he went off. Let's see. We'll still try. Let me take a break, and we're gonna be back here. It is crazy here. The AC is not even helping me out here. Uh,
Diaspora informative news platform Liberia Public Radio LPR presents Freedom Watch with Alphonso Zean. On Freedom Watch, we hold national leaders, opposition, and the general public accountable for words by asking tough questions in exchange for real-time answers. No one walks away free by providing false information. If it's from LPR and Zean, it got to be good. Be my guest every Sunday live on LPR.
the honorable is back. Hopefully, this work out here. Are we good now?
Yes, are you hearing me?
Yeah. Okay. Good. Much better. All right. What about that trying to temper with the honorable? That I think it has to come to a halt. Okay, Honorable Larry P. Younquoi of District number 8, Nima County. I think almost more than a year or two now since I had a conversation with you. Um, I'm not good at introduction, and I would never need an introduction from the Honorable Younquoi. But guess what? Every evening, every minute, second, we have a new audience, and so they like to hear from the house's mouth. Who is Larry P. Younquoi?
Well, thank you very much. Larry Younquoi is a son of Nimba, born in one of the non-political districts known as District number 8, within the Secretary Statutory District. I started my early education in Flumpa Public School, one of the major district headquarters. And went as far as graduating from Catholic High School in San Nicolas, it's Numerous High School, and then matriculated to the University of Liberia, where I obtained a bachelor's degree in economics with minor in demography. And I moved to the United Nations Regional Institute for Population Studies at the University of Legon, where I obtained a Master of Arts degree in Population Studies. And since then, I returned. Since 1988, we have been making our contribution to the Liberian society. I working first with the Family Planning Association of Liberia as one of the major demographers there. Then later I moved over to the Ministry of Planning, where I spent more than 2 decades before the House of Representatives. So at the level of the House, we are currently chairing a committee on governance and government reform, even though I'm on many other committees. But I'm also on the Board of Trustees of the University of Liberia and the Board of Trustees of the Nimba County University. So because of that, we are heavily involved in restructuring Liberia, in trying to help Liberia where it's supposed to be. I'm also representing the legislature at the Africa Parliamentary Union as head of delegation. And as a professional body, the continent has Africa Parliamentary Forum on Population and Development, which I'm adequately representing Liberia, also as one of the 10 executive committee members representing Anglophone country, 2 of us representing African Anglophone country. And currently, we are in our 3rd year, so since we were elected in Senegal. And so because of this, our contribution to the Liberian body politics is not only limited to what we can do in Liberia, but we also work with our national partners to ensure that laws and policies are made to affect the population of our continent and the world positively. I'm in America. I came in March for some private business. I asked for 1 month for private issue, a personal family issue. But unfortunately, we were caught up in this force majeure. The COVID-19 has involuntarily kept us here. But however, we are beginning to see some signs of opening up in our country. Our airport is open, so hopefully in a matter of days, I will be going to rejoin my compatriots for to continue to do the technical and critical jobs that we have. Currently, the budget is before us. It's time for us to deliberate that, then we'll take our recess. And so I think even though I lost all the other state of emergency debate and other debates, or at least we're going to be part of the budget debate so that we can close the chapter for the sitting and then close and return in January to start the fourth sitting of the 54th legislature.
Okay.
So I'm very happy to be on this platform this afternoon.
Okay. Honorable, please do a favor. I believe we are getting a lot of background interference, and I really want the people to understand what you are saying. So those that I know people doing their own things, if they can just keep a little bit distant. Microphone is very sensitive, and so we also want to do that for the respect of the audience. Yet, yeah, okay. Okay, what an extensive intro right there. You are on the Capitol Hill representing District Number 8 from Nimba County. Yeah. So, Honorable, talk to me here. We're going to get to some other critical issue here. Talk to me here, because for the most part, everybody that I talk to from these various counties, they would tell me, oh, the caucus is not going right. The caucus, this is why it's happening here. What is a working relationship with the caucus? And I know there's some sort of friction with you and Senator Prince Johnson. Is that personal or political differences, or something that right is not going on for which they don't want Larry Younquoi to talk?
Well, the relationship with Senator Johnson is political. It's not personal. So it's all because we want the best for our country. And when I don't see it coming, then we have to behave the way we do. But you will know that if there is nothing that will bring you and I face to face, we will be the best buddies on the caucus. So it's all policy differences. We look at our country the way it should be run from different perspectives. And so once we can realize that where your right begins or ends, the next man's right begin, and all of us were elected to represent our people at the national theater. Once we recognize that, we will be moving on an even keel to the benefit of our people. So basically, that's what has happened over the years, but it's not personal.
It's not personal, is that? Are you still with the Alternative National Congress, Honorable?
Oh yes, I forgot to mention that in my intro. I'm the chairman of the ANC Legislative Caucus. So I'm a bona fide member of that party, and by that virtue, I'm a member of the governing council of the CPP. Because the CPP governing council, which is the first committee of the collaboration, comprises political leader, national chair, caucus chair, youth representative, and women representative from each of the party. And then the four groups go together to constitute the governing council. And so I'm a member of that setup, which is about to try to take over the leadership of this country at the appropriate time.
The CPP, the collaborative party that you're talking about.
Yes.
Why? Talk to me, Honorable. I've been following to your record. You've been taking some really, really critical position, to valid position, things that you strongly believe with your conviction. How can't ANC become part of the CPP? Was that so? Was that compelling?
Well, there is this general belief in Liberia that no one party can easily win election in Liberia. And when those that you're depending on to catapult you to leadership, continue to tell you that there's a need for collaboration, especially so when we've always been challenged with the number of persons on the ballot. Given our country is still struggling with high percentage of illiterate population, and most of the people, when they go to have election to cast their ballot, they are normally assisted. And as a result, our democracy is diluted. We are not really sure whether the results are actually what it needs to be. So any efforts aimed at reducing the number of persons on the ticket is encouraged, coupled with the fact that those parties that have similar ideology about how they want the country to be, if they can decide to come together, there was no reason to resist that. So I think it is from this background that ANC decided to put together to form alliance with the first big party besides the ruling party, United Party, Liberty Party, ALP, and ANC. If you look at this, these are the parties that actually got a very sizable proportion of the vote we just cast last, except for maybe MDR or Senator Johnson, which is already with the CDC collaboration, even though it's not in writing, but in, as a term of rule of the term or the agreement, is part of that. But otherwise, besides the 4 parties that are currently in the CPP, the rest of the other parties are smaller parties, and they are huge in number. I understand about 12 of them have gone together also to present one slate of candidates. So at the end of the day, during the coming election, we may have maximum 5 or 6 presidential candidates, which is going to also be good for our democracy. Because I don't want a situation where, because the number is so huge, when other people who you are already taught how to vote, when they get there, they get confused. But if they have only 4 or 5, it's easy to say vote for the 4th president, for the 1st president. So basically, that's why it is. But not that it's all rosy, but it's better to take the calculated risk than to leave the thing open, and then the situation will remain the same and nothing will change. So it's actually out of manifest necessity, the fact that the people that we want to have them elect us as opposition to power are yearning for people who are of like minds going together, and if so, it's going to help the process. If we don't do so, it will be splintered. So basically, this is the reason why that decision was taken.
So the history, Honorable, you could be living testimony. The history will do the trash records of the collaborations of parties in our country, in Liberia, your country. It starts good, but the end result, they don't get to the finishing line of this marathon. At the end of the day, nobody wants to give in, nobody wants to give up, everybody wants to be ahead. Are there evidence that Liberian, is there any indicators that we can see that this collaboration this time around will prove us wrong than that of the past?
Oh yes, I don't know which history, except that maybe during the 1997 election, when UPP and other parties along with LAP went together and Petrus Waters emerged,
right.
That led to because then going on their own and other people. But besides that experience, I think all other collaborative efforts have been holding very well. Like Madam President Salif, having fought hard to win on her own in the first election 2005, she knew that it was going to be difficult. How come she brought on board LAP and Loop, as well as Unity Party? These were the 3 original parties that went against NUDP those days.
Right.
And they went on a grand coalition. I can remember Justin Hebdo, the late venerable politician Justin Hebdo, and his colleague Boulin and Eric Kessely, 3 of them forming this grand coalition after the 1985 election. And that was after the election, so nothing much could be done. But it resurfaced after my Mrs. Salif decided that I need to bring my colleagues on board, and then they all went and pushed themselves into one party known as Unity Party. That's how they won the 2nd term. So, and that went on well, even though internally they had 1 or 2 frictions there, but it went on. And then this other one is also working. The CDC is having the NPP as well as the Liberia People Democratic Party. And the three parties are there, joined by Senator Johnson's MDR. So and they're also working. So I don't see, but I can tell you that this current collaboration it's been scientifically put together, because it's not that one person is in power calling other people to come on them. Everybody started on ground zero, and they are decided even to spend money on a collaboration. It will be evenly distributed, because at least these parties are parties with men and women, and nobody is super pressing there. Coupled with the fact that they are exhaustively looking at the document that is tying them together. Like recently, when they put the framework up, the issue of sharing power and things, which is already affecting the current collaboration, coalition, and which also affected the Unity Party collaboration. You can remember Article 52, Rule 52 or Article 52 of the Constitution. The Unity Party says no appointment should be done in government unless the party knows about it. But when the Unity Party, when the president won a second term, she set that aside and brought a lot of hard feeling between the chairman then and the Senate bearer. Similarly, this other arrangement too is not that cozy. But what we are supporting our political leaders to do, the high is taking systematic for them to just declare their intention. After they did that at the Unity Party headquarters, it took more than 1 year, and then they have finalized the framework paper. Even as that, when it was introduced, public views went in, and that input was taken, and they already had a very solid document that is cutting across the board, which is reflecting the inclusiveness of inclusiveness of the stewardship. Everybody else will have chance to work in the government, even if you don't identify with political parties. But
talking about
on your competency. But if there is a need to have other slots filled, political parties involved will have a role to play in vetting their people, and that's what they were trying to say. But trying to say it was a little bit difficult. People were trying to say you want to divide the country only among 4 parties, and then the rest of the people. No, that was not the intention, and I think that has been verified. But otherwise than that, look at currently what is going on in the country, the selection of senatorial slate for the 15 counties. People thought there were going to be something that is going to dismantle the collaboration. No, it's working fine. They had first 8 counties seated among the parties, and based on that strength, and then the rest of the parties, other counties are going to go through the process of a primary, and whoever comes in, we all go together to support the president.
Okay, let's go to your own home county, Nimba. Nimba is very consequential in the general election, and part of that we will begin to see the sign in the senatorial here as to whether the CPP, the collaborations, or the coalitions of the governing council, whoever takes Nimba, potentially you on the brain or on the verge of heading to the presidency. Make me to understand you are part of the governing council of the CPP as well. Your daughter, Ida Gonglo, where I will be hosting her here very soon. I've talked to some of the experience and all of that. The proportionality of this group here, ANC take Nimba, the other group take Nimba here. Are you seeing that strategy is off the table now, or what? Or would there be a primary? I still finding it difficult to understand.
No, Nimba is open to primary.
Okay. But that was not a previous arrangement.
No, the first arrangement was that Nimba should go to ANC based on what was said by the political leaders. But because of what came up later on, it was reconsidered that Nimba would be among those that would go for primary. And I think I understood it's supposed to be done by the 1st of August in Nimba.
Yeah, I was just getting a report from my own Grangida County. Momentum is building out there. So it seems to be this primary will be simultaneous across the 15 political subdivisions. Is that how it's going to work?
Well, not simultaneous, but what I know is that River G and Nimba, I know their schedules, 28th and August 1st, July 28th and August 1st. So what is going to be between July 28th and August 1st, maybe Nigeria is going to be included because they are all on the same league. But other people, other teams are also concerned with primaries in other countries. So you might be right, but to the extent that other countries We'll be doing it the same time Nimba and grandchildren and other places will be doing it. I don't know, because we know that then Maryland was exclusively given to ANC. We've done with that ever since. And Kimon was also exclusively given to ANC. So we've done with that ever since. But Nimba is not with any group now. All the four parties have the right to feed a candidate. So we are expecting them to go through it on the 1st of August. Except something major happened where we had to postpone it, but otherwise that's the time. Then there again, the commitment is that whoever emerges is going to be supported by the rest of the other people. But this is a catch-two situation. The new electoral law of Liberia says that whenever you take part in a primary and you lose, you don't go to any more party. Maybe if you want to run, you will run as an independent, but you're not going to leave ANC, for example, convention.
Is that a MOU you guys signed?
No, it's not the MOU, it's the election law of Liberia.
Okay, election law. Okay. So
MOU, whatever policy and things you derive are all honor the law governing election in this country, just as that election law too is honor the constitution of Liberia. Anything to the contrary is notwithstanding.
Yeah, because
so you either submit yourself to the primary and as a consequence, or if you want to appear on the ballot, by all means, then you set yourself aside and either go to another party that will not give you that level of contestation, or you go as independent, then so you can appear on the ticket if you must go.
Wow. Yeah, because politicians in Liberia flying all over the place like a pepper boy here. Sometimes I try to figure out what is the reason. You seems to be like a piece of cloth between the seas of Younquoi. I have talked to the sitting Senator Thomas Groupie, interviewing here. I talked to Jeremiah Yont. I talked to him here. I'm looking forward to talk to other people. The CPP, you are a prominent, influential guy from Nima County, and you with the ANC. You have a daughter who is a former superintendent of Nima County, Ida Gonglo, where is contesting. Are we going to see this sort of partisan bickering, or will the CPP to take a little breath and say, wait, we need to elect, we need to take a electable candidate, someone that can deliver. You have to make a decision. Have you decided which way who you're gonna support?
No. You know my role now as chairman of the ANC caucus, and maybe by virtue of my role at the governing council, the leading personality of the party at the county, except for Taiwan Wei, who is the founder of the party, who came on board with the political leader, who had that clout. Otherwise than that, I can consider myself the biggest political person of the party in the country. And so meaning that the ANC being one of the constituent parties, I cannot be the one to sit there and say, look, I'm going to select this over that. Then again, I'm going to be here responsible for whatever happens. But one thing that is true is that whoever emerges will be supported by us. Because as a matter of fact, the CPP candidates are the best. The two of them are the best we can sell. Ta had not been in politics for long, but he has the exposure. In the past 2 years, he has been really working with the communities, working with women, empowering them, helping with agricultural program. He is the largest contributor of scholarship to the Nimba County Community College, which is now the Nimba County University. And he has gotten his own place to stand on as far as political preference is concerned in the country. Then, of course, like you said, Madam Ide Gonglo Ware is a very articulate lady, having served a lot in the Liberian society. She was a journalist. She's a journalist by profession. Later on, before coming to America to get a degree in social work and whatever it is, and she has been tested. She has served as superintendent. She did well. And she has gone into this race twice, and again, Almighty Senator Johnson and Senator Groupie, and she has performed very well. And so again, on a normal condition, you would just point at her and say, let her go. But now, the other young guy came on and he has done very well over the years. So whoever emerges is going to be a winnable party for the declaration. So if you were to ask me as a non-political person, as a non-organizational man, I will be categorical to tell you whom I can support. But as it stands now, You don't want to shake the boat very heavily because we all are on it and we want to tenderly handle the CPPC thing because after all, the bigger one is coming in 2023. And what happens in 2020 is going to have a lot to say about what is going to be happening in 2023 as far as populating the ticket, the presidential ticket is concerned. Who goes first, who goes second, and the rest of it. So you don't want to allow any disagreement to torpedo what we have established. But otherwise than that, I'm very comfortable with the two of them. Whoever emerges is going to be supported by us, and then so that we can have that representation in the House.
Honorable, your intro introducing former Superintendent Edith Gonglo, where it was very extensive, it was very much elaborate. I see smiles in your face. It's an indicator that Edith Gonglo Webb could be most likely the favorite of Honorable Larry Younquoi. Let's put out the government of the ANC and the governing party. All of these are all of the bureaucracy you politicians always try to drive to. But the bottom line here, the way toward the 2023 is the prelude of this 2020 senatorial elections. You need Nima County. You have to deliver Nima County. So why should you wait until something happened? Then Honorable Larry Younquoi will come back to say, "Oh, I should have done this." Then that becomes a.
We are not waiting. We are not. That's what I really do not really fancy my involuntary stay in America. When I came for a maximum 2 months and I spent nearly 4.5 months, I'm very, very, very disappointed in that. But I'm within a matter of 4 or 5 days, 2 or 3 days, I will be in Liberia, and then we'll start putting these acts together. But notwithstanding, the only party in the CPP that I've done very little job or I don't have any connection with is ALP, but I am the founding chairman of Liberty Party. I took Liberty Party to the Election Commission. I took Liberty Party to the first convention in Uganda in 2005. And so you know that in Nimba County, we have, prior to that, I was chairman of Friends of Bronski in Nimba prior to my ascendancy. So you know how much weight we have in terms of the structure of Liberty Party in the country.
So why are you switching to affiliation?
Why I switched my affiliation? Show me one politician in Liberia that had not moved. So far, the only politician that I have not seen moving from one party to another is
Honorable Larry Younquoi I'm speaking to right now. So that's why if I have the privilege to bring in a politician who has changed political gear, I ask them the same question. This is why you guys, the politicians, the Liberian people, how can we have a structure? How can we have an institution in place? You build Liberty Party, you introduce Liberty Party to the people of Nimba County. Liberty Party has tried over and over. They have not been successful. Probably the structure was in built. Now you're going to ANC. What is the guarantee that you will remain with ANC, Honorable?
Oh, well, when I served my term with Liberty Party, I took it to the convention. Thereafter, I was given a chance to run for the House, and so I relinquished that position, and I did not succeed. And they also backed me up for a by-election that occurred in my district. I did not succeed. So I also felt that, well, let me try another vehicle. How come I was able to win on the UPP stroke ADP ticket in 2011? But when we were approaching 2017, there was the general belief that Omen Bakar was the most suitable person to succeed the venerable Madam President Selif, who has laid a lot of foundation. And the foundation that was laid, we needed somebody who has the ability to uphold it and act upon it. And therefore, all of us decided that we should go and officially be part of it, because ADP had always, PD had always supported Unity Party. And when even that Marcus now had his opportunity to become standard bearer, he waived his right to Madam Selly. And so that means my party was supporting Unity Party at the time, but I ran on the ticket because we had legislative candidates. So this time around, we wanted, after winning, to have a role to play in the administration of the country. How come I went to Unity Party? After election, I saw ANC very active, and my party was a little bit lagging behind in terms of working towards 2023. So and I needed to start working. And so that's how come I went to ANC, because having looked at other things that were happening, I felt that ANC, I think especially the political leader, has what it takes to transform Liberia. The economy of Liberia is a serious problem. And then the structure So somebody who has had track record of managing a bigger economy, and we think that he knows what it takes to just change Liberia around with support of level-headed people coming around. So that is the reason why we went there. Luckily for all, we are gone by, so that's not an issue. But the question as to why I left is simply because it is provided for under the law. If the Constitution of Liberia did not agree for one person to leave from one party to another, or especially when you are elected, we wouldn't have done it. Since the flexibility is there, and like one of our former government official, foreign minister, Gafon, in this time, the time like this, there will be the time for realignment, alignment, and realignment. We'll continue to realign until they find the right solution that can solve the problem of Liberia. Otherwise, than that, right now, where we are now, we have completely gone below zero. I think we were at one point, then we came back to zero, but we've gone below -5, -6. When we are seeing ourselves deliberately
who is responsible for that, Honorable?
Who is responsible? The government. We are all part of it.
You're part of the government.
Because, yes, but you need a tool to work. If you, for example, it looks bad. I mean, even taking money that does not belong to you, or taking money that was allocated for something else to use it somewhere else, is different. That one, you can say, well, it's out of the desire to do something for the country that the president does not want to listen to people recasting and things. But when you put the law down and you decide to butcher it yourself, look at senior ministers are going around riding government car, carrying government news agency to run campaign. Some people are allowing themselves to appear in studio to talk about they being on what we call a primary committee. When our code of conduct that I was on the governance committee at the time as a member, and we all know how much we put there. You're not supposed to be a sitting official of government to allow any role in government. But there are some assistant ministers that are co-chair, the deputy ministers that are co-chairman of political party in this country, especially the ruling party, and they are going around doing political things. So how do you look at that kind of thing? So God forbid, if you want to take that kind of issue to the Supreme Court or to talk about impeachment, how far will you go? The impeachment, the infringement of our laws are just too different. So what we do is that we talk to ourselves, we need to minimize it. So that is something that exceptional when happening, say, look, this thing we need to address it. But you got about 10, 15 things happening at the same time, breaching the law. What you expect that to do? So we really have to wait and see, maybe 2023 to decide a case. Otherwise than that, if you say you want to go for this, situation is still not favorable for you to really see what you can do in terms of working internally to change the situation.
Now, Honorable, many Liberians, folks that are listening to us here now, one of your colleagues, I'm not sure whether he's part of the collaboration, Yeke Koluba, he said, all of the people, when he left with me, everybody should go. Meaning the task for you guys were elected, probably you guys are not deliverable, especially this senatorial race that is coming. And what is still $1 million question that I yet to get an authentic answer is, for the most part, the opposition, they are in majority in the House, even though the leadership is with the governing party. How can these people always vote? How can these people always switch party affiliation to the governing side? What is responsible?
Well, thank you very much. Okay, for your information, since there's a very large platform, Yeke Koluba is a member of the collaboration. He is a member of the ANC Legislative Caucus. And he also a member of the Independent Legislative Caucus that I actually created because of what you talk about, where people did not decide to use their number to offset situation at the legislature. You are right. That's a problem for which we have come up with this institution. Now the fact that opposition is not making use of its number is because most people were just accommodated by this opposition party, but they were not really part of this party. But I can let you know that when they come into being of CPP and the way people are moving now, the situation is not going to remain the same, especially after the December 8th election, when the Senate shall have substantial number of people that are able to change things around. You can rest assured that Liberia's governance process is not going to be difficult. I mean, even right now, the draft budget that is before us, what we are discussing now in the chat room, shows that we need to flex our muscle. So it has been so because we were not ideologically fixated in these political parties. You just wait long to try and go and pay your registration, and then they allow you to go on a ticket. It has been frustrating. It has been very frustrating. When issues become, political leaders call us and say, do this, you don't do it. But as it says now, we are fixing ourselves a signature that if you want to be a candidate on the CPP ticket, you must conform. If you disagree within the arrangement. But when you go out there, the best you can do is to remain quiet. But you cannot go and vote against your own institution. That is going to be, those kind of ideological orientation had never taken place before. So what we have now is different from what we have now. Otherwise, people to buy other primary couldn't make it a jackie and say, oh, I want to run, then you go, and then they allow you to register. So we're looking at things that is what we call inorganic relationship. But now what we're trying to formulate now is an organic relationship. You are tied in ideologically and philosophically, and with the improvement of Liberia at the back of our mind. So since the CPP produced the first lawmaker, which is Darrell DeLong, and the fire has started, the light has started catching. Even people who hitherto were not joining the ranks of the opposition have died, including even our own deputy speaker. He had been there, sitting there as deputy speaker when he was leading the biggest opposition bloc. When we entered the house, the Unity Party had about 22 or 23 members, and I think CDC has one person short. So if the two of them go together, about 44, 45 persons. So what about the rest of the 30 persons? We could have gone to them as a major opposition bloc and get them to take over the speakership. But out of some reason, they went and decided that the ruling party should take the speakership. So the House got disgusted and organized the Independent Legislative Caucus to be able to speak freely. And so, as I said now, the deputy speaker has become very, very vocal. I mean, he's very active in the CPP movement. And so it is with some of the other people that were sitting on the fence. So, yes, not easy. And of course, you know, the executive branch is powerful, ruling party is powerful. Most lawmakers feel that they should be friendly with the speaker, with the chairman on Ways and Means, with the pro tem and things like that, so that things can be good, and so that they can do good introduction to the Minister of State, who is the ears and eyes of the president, and things like that. Those were the considerations that made people to be timid, to want to remain lukewarm. But as it stands, we all are feeling the brunt. So you either remain as an institution man, or you find your level in line with what is laid down in the CPP arrangement. So you can rest assured Liberia is not going to remain the same before. We are not predicting an acrimonious country, but we are predicting a very robust country, because look at Liberia, I mean America. I can say Nancy Pelosi it's almost co-running this country. At a certain time, she was saying, no, Mr. President, you are not appearing to give your state of nation address because the budget has not passed. And the budget too cannot pass unless anything they want done. So these are issues. We hope we can reach to that point. But all is not lost. Now that we are still a little bit strong around, and at least we can bequeath our children something good tomorrow. And with the level of online communication devices and a platform where you guys are beaming into our country, our people are listening. Those that are not listening to it live are receiving it later on. I think we have never been at this level before. So I'm very happy that I can make my own contribution at this particular point in time. But you are right, we are not really being able to live up to the expectation people have of us. But it was understandable. We didn't have people who were really drilled into party politics. They need to be disciplined. But look at one senator standing and abusing all of us, that we are spineless, we are rotting, and nobody could do anything to him because he's right to say freedom of expression. And he was talking the truth anyway. So these are the issues. So you think we want to be insulted? Yeah, like I said, we are the problem. We have said it over and over. Only the way they say it is different. But some of us are frustrated over some of the things that we do. But at the end of the day, we have all resolved now to help the executive branch to move this country forward.
Honorable, do you think, based on these explanations, which is a good political calculations when you're talking to politicians, and politicians like Larry Younquoi, I don't see it as a surprise. Do you think this political ceasefire, this oppositions you guys are putting together, do you think it will be finalized and it will hold?
I think so. I think we've passed through so many temptations, and the fact that we can survive it. Honorable Yuri took over the chairmanship of the CPP in its formative stage. It was initially for 6 months, but he had to extend it to 8 months, because there's no way you could turn over. At least you should have something to show. So he showed the framework, completed framework. So the next president now has come on board for the next 8 months. His mandate, one, is to register the CPP with the Election Commission. Two, to make sure we have a successful 2020 senatorial election. Maybe the other person, which I think is Liberty Party, because we are going alphabetically, might take us to through structuring the CPP all over the country and making sure we become vibrant, and then hopefully Unity Party will be there when we are talking about maybe presidential and vice presidential candidates determination, which come on 2023 prior to the early 2023 or 2022. So we have crossed a very serious hurdle. The selection of candidates now, one that we are coming up with a framework. The 8 countries that people felt that they were clearly belong to certain parties because of their standing there were given to them. The 7 that remain are the one we are conducting this primary in. Once we can pass that, I'm sure there's not going to be any contentious issue now that has a proclivity to divide, to break this system down. So I believe that, I mean, we have no option. The Liberian people are behind us. You guys need to hold together because the opportunities are there for you guys to come.
The CPP, Honorable Younquoi, do you see the CPP as the alternative to this current political, economic, infrastructure problem in Liberia? Is CPP, these 4 political parties that have formed, put themselves together, are they alternative to what is ongoing in Liberia now?
Yes. Yes, to say the least. Because firstly, the 3 parties have what it takes. They've been around for some time. Liberty Party had been around, so that to the extent that even the founding father is no more, but the aid memoir is there. What he wants for Liberia is there, and those that are there currently taking over the helm, baptize themselves into it. They can even deliver it as good as the venerable lawyer, Councillor Blonskin, would do. And then, of course, Unity Party, nothing is subtracted. The old man has been vice president for 12 years. He knows everything about what it is to transform this country, using the legal means, using the political means. Of course, Honorable Kumis, his success in the corporate world, as epitomized, he is well with.
It's different. I mean, in the corporate world, it's not the same as being in government, Honorable Younquoi.
Yes. Excuse me, if you cannot manage $10, you're not able to manage $50. So the fact that he had worked with a complex institution like that, and that's why he is in Liberia since the election. The man has been living in Liberia. Besides the years he spent in Liberia running campaign to run 2017, since then he is working, going into all the nooks and corners. I can remember I took him to some villages in Nimba when he went there to make his 5,300,000 LD contribution towards the community college, colleges, or technology, or university, college construction. And then we had to visit one of the trenches where citizens there wanted to see one of the partisans who has been making some work with them. And so he's working. Other people, he has gone to Kema. He is currently, as I think, a few days from now, he will be back in his home, Maryland, where we follow all the way River G, Grand Jide, Nimba, and then later on he had to go to Lufa and the rest of it. So, I mean, that has allowed him, coupled with what he already knows theoretically, to also understand the situation on the ground. Then, of course, Bernard Ure, he has been around. He is a political leader of the All Liberian Party. You can remember these were some of the very people who brought some of the very young people up in the CDC, and of course, coming from the background, one of the most popular political party, the NPP. So he has contact over some of the young people in this country. And so, and they be around too, knowing how this economy is supposed to be. To me, given what I see, what I'm reading in the corridor, I think they have the panacea to our problem. Unlike where people believe that they say education is not good, but when they get there now, they want to show that they are educated. And then the performance is different from what they should actually be doing. I think CPP is the alternative to the problem we have in Liberia. Plus our manners. Of course, you always have to leave room for some correction. Margin of errors will always be there.
Do you agree with former Vice President Joseph Boyka when he made the statement that he was parked in the garage by Helen Johnson Sirleaf? Do you agree with that statement?
I don't know why people want to take, do we call it philosophical statement at its face value. People were trying to say he was too old, he was too soft, nobody heard his voice. And he was trying to say that if a racing car is parked in the garage, there's no way you will know whether it can run fast. And there's no way that car will pull itself outside.
Who liked the garage? Was that Helen Johnson Sirleaf? A racing car should be moving. Why would a racing car be parked all these years and the racing car cannot get a mechanic going? Was that a mechanical fault?
The statement should not be taken at its face value. Like our own sister, who is the vice president.
And not to interrupt you, Honorable, this is the problem I have when I'm talking to politicians at both the CDC, the opposition. You guys are in this sort of conspiracy of justifications of your whatever thing that happen on one of the side. If the CDC may come here, you ask about Moluba Molu talk here, they will say, oh, that Lekoto, whether that was a Panwa or what a called or King June or jeans or jumping deer, they would not tell you the nature of that. That's the same justification I'm having now. So this sort of justification over and over by our politicians, it don't get anywhere.
No, but what the elder statesman was saying simply was that it's the same thing as saying that when the moon is up, the star does not shine. Yeah. So you will tell the star, why is it not passing by the moon to shine? Someone said that. Someone said, look, I know why it takes to change this country. But my president was ahead of me. There's no way I could come out the show. So the same thing the government said is the same thing I said that when the moon is up, the star does not shine. So do you say, how does the star come to shine when the moon light was all over? It's not when the moon is not up that you see the star and it's not even brighten the place for you. And so that's just another way of saying that if you want to know whether I can run, put me out. The vice president is just an assistant to the president. He doesn't have any assignment. The only assignment of his that is prescribed by the Constitution is to preside over the Senate.
Why he didn't talk? Why he didn't talk all along? Why
will you talk?
Why would he talk all along that he was a racing car? He was parked in the garage until things fell apart. Now, and I'm coming. That was a former ruling party, Unity Party. I'm not sure. I think you were affiliate of a Unity Party. Now,
yeah, I won my second term on Unity Party's ticket.
Okay, from Unity Party to Liberty Party, now to ANC.
No, Liberty Party to Unity Party.
Liberty Party to Unity Party, and now to ANC, right? You were ANC now.
Yeah. Now I've gone back to all of them now. Yes, I'm with ANC, but then I've gone back to Liberty Party and Unity Party because all our things are together now.
Okay, all you're together now. So that's a good transition that you have made and others have made here. But here is the $1 million question here to Honorable Younquoi. When will the Liberian people know, or when will my audience know? I want to know who's going to be on top of this CPP. I'm not getting the real alternative tone in terms of resolution oriented. I'm not hearing these are our plans for development structure. These are our plans to take care of the youth. You guys and you guys, I am very, very much kind of yeah, honorable. When I look in the unit, when I look in the governing party, I see the young generations. There is no future for them. All they do sour proliferations of malicious group. When I look into the opposition, we should be seen as an alternative to say, see what they are doing. We will not do this. You also get your own malicious. And these are young people. What's the future of these people? And you say you want to be an alternative. You're doing no different than what the CDC government is doing, Honorable.
I don't know. You are sitting in America where nobody less than 74 years is considered for presidency. The thing is, leadership is not for small children. We can prepare them to take over. So it's not about coming to say 124-year-old. The Constitution says you can be 30 years and be president, and the rest of it. And when you say there is no future, I don't know. We have the youth.
No future. Not to interrupt you with due respect here. Look at the children. Look at today's youth. All day they are in. I went through a war. You know what the war did to our country. And by this time, we should be talking about human development, building the capacity of these young generations who fought innocent war. They were influenced, they were used through alcohol and different drugs. They didn't know what they were doing. Society have to forgive them. But in a same token, we have to put a structure in place. All of the 103 men and women in both lower and upper house of government, they are turned to humanitarian. Where is the National Rehabilitation Center? Your man Darius Dillon, he's building his own. You go on the side, CDC people building their own. How will the institutions of government be sustained? If you are out of representative or senator tomorrow, will you still provide the services to these people? Absolutely not. I am concerned.
Well, state building is work in progress. And you know, since 1980, when almost the late on restriction to government entering government was lifted, we have taken a very good portion of that year since then, those years since then, to engage in civil war and a lot of things. So it's not only just after 2003 when the final pages of the war was closed with a transitional government that later on led to a series of elections that we have now, which is like consolidating our democracy. We are still evolving, and that's why we need critical-minded people to come to the hand. No matter what the opposition does, it's not going to be holistic. It's not going to be national. So the opposition is working out plans as to how the young people will be brought up so that they can be made into wholesome functioning.
When will this plan? When will we see this plan to unfold?
The opposition, no, just wait. It's going to be included in its manifesto. We are not in election yet, and so you will be hearing it on a splinter basis from each of the senatorial candidates that the opposition will be putting up. That's the only logical and legal term you will start hearing about platform and the rest of it. But there's no time for you to expect a presidential candidate to emerge now. There's a law according to the guidelines of election. There's time that people, a political party, supposed to come up with presidential candidates and vice president. And that's the time you expect platform to be presented. They got time for those. Otherwise than that, the only time we have now is through our legislative candidates that are going to be going out now. When you go to NIMBA and say, this is what I intend to do, like what Darius Dillon is doing, we need to amplify it. It shows you that the opposition, when they are in power, they will want to institutionalize what he is doing to relocate some of the Zogos into becoming good people. And so, because the party acquiesced or the coalition acquiesced to that, to be done on that minuscule basis, is going to be blown up to become a national program. And you went to NIMBA where a lawmaker is empowering, a candidate is empowering farmers with seeds and improved varieties and some post-harvest technology. And if that experiment is workable, then it's going to be included in the platform. If you went to Baplu, you went to Basa, you went to Magibi, and you see our candidates doing this and that, maybe microfinancing, women empowerment. So those are things, but we are working on it to come up. But you cannot come now and say, yeah, this is my platform. 4 years to election. Nobody's going to take you serious. People are now busy looking at the governing party, what their government is doing, checkmating them and trying to live also with what they are failing to do. So that's not a place where you want to start presenting your platform to the party the population that is already overwhelmed. But when the election is coming, they will be forced to listen because that will be the season and such will be the time. But you can't expect any presidential candidate to be known now because the time has not come. All we're doing now is to put our paper together at a computer. Those people will come. Even you yourself, you could even come and join one of the parties and you can be nominated as standard bearer. It's still open to people. These political leaders are there because they had the party now to be responsible for. Prior to that, other people were there. So you can say you want to know the standard bearer now. It could be any one of them. It could be anybody that they will nominate and based on what the person is capable of doing. So basically, this is where we are. All is not lost. The future is still there. The young people.
I was going to see. Are we going to see a young face? Are we going to see a young generation? Are we going, or are we going to remodel the same type of politicians? They were there yesterday and they want to continue in government for the life of the long. And yet the young other people who are also eager with different skills, willing to help their government, will it still be put on hold or lay away? So American men say, yeah, until these people, we don't know when you guys going to retire, Honorable.
No, so we should not be. I think only the French people can say that because they put a 40 some more year man as president. But you are sitting in a country where all the four finalists, when Brown was still there, and Omer Sanders was there, and Biden and Trump were there, all of them were in their 70s, high 70s.
Right.
You should not be for that. But I hope the young people can be given the opportunity. But as it stands, maybe we could be risking the political future of Liberia by 2023 with young faces if we have not had the gap that we are currently having. We have gone really backward in terms of even respecting our own institution. And without any implication, I'm saying this clearly as an opposition, and we're talking about it on the floor of the legislature, and we hope we can do something better. So a broken country that has her own law that she's not willing to live by it, and if you want to take it and say, well, let young person come just for the sake of it, I think the young people themselves know that given the enormity of the problem we had, there's a need for experience to be given a chance. And so it will have to be some of the old folks so that we can at least take the country and put it back on the right trajectory, then we leave it with the young people to play with it. And given the level of training and acculturation that they are undergoing in their respective parties as young people, the women win, the youth win, I think when they get there, they will know exactly what to do, because the old people will still be there to give them the guidance. But as it stands now, you need one of the faces that have been there before, whether it is Cummins, whether it is Jure, whether it is Omebaka, whether it is any of the older people in the Democratic Party, because besides Yomli being a political leader who is also qualified to be anything, Darrell Delon is vice chair for political affairs. But there are other people too in the Democratic Party. The Musa Benedict, the Harrison Conway, who is a vice tenor bearer. There are people there too, so don't their thing because there's no Bronsky. So it has to be one of these people who will emerge. So for you to think that the young people are being deprived, no, they are being nurtured. But where we are now, you need a face that is able to sit on the other side of the aisle to make somebody from the EU, from the OECD, from the American corporate world, from the political class in America, from Europe, from Asia, that will make things happen with vast experience, and not somebody because he has a youthful exuberance, he has a master's degree, PhD, a young man. No, they will come. But as it stands, the country is for them. But for now, we will need some experience. That's my view. At the convention, it will say send a constitution allow for 30 years old to be president, or 35 years old to be president. They put a 35 year, 36 year old there. That would be the decision of the delegations, the delegates.
Okay.
So all people are gingerly holding it and coming out with a refined document that will tie us together. So when we go to convention, whoever goes there, you will live with it, and then we help you to implement it. So as a result, it's a little bit preposterous to talk about standard bearer and vice standard bearer and this and that, foreign minister, this and that now. What we know now is that to build an institution that Liberia has never seen before, and I think it's working well.
Can I make this suggestion? We're going to be engaging with our onliners here, and we're going to be taking a few questions here. Can Larry Younquoi do me a favor to work with some of his colleagues across the aisle? That's what the people do here. But Liberian politicians, when ANC men passing on the side, CDC men passing on the side, when CDBC men passing, then Liberty Party men passing. Is it possible, Younquoi?
Yeah.
Is it possible for a piece of legislation to take a look? I am concerned, considering where we came from as a country, 15 years of devastation. The actual demobilization, you can tell one that it was not comprehensive based on what we're seeing is unfolding. That a piece of legislation in a bipartisan way, in the interest of national security, that this sort of malicious group of Thai here to be completely dissolved, to discourage that? Is it possible that people can? And I know people are going to talk about constitution, but it is frightening to some of us and people that went through horror. And we see these young people, every little thing they get ready, brigade and red barrel, green barrels, and all of that, wearing khaki and all of that. It's a reflection to the past carnage that we went through. And you politicians enjoy these people being around you.
I don't know why you're making reference to. You want maybe you're talking about like the way they have the CDC youth where they can wear their blue and
the CDC youth, the ANC youth. I saw one other one came up recently again. I think Solidarity Brigade or so. I mean, I don't know what is the reflection, what is the essence of these sort of proliferations of this group here. We having armed robberies all going on in the country. This government finding it very difficult to contain. You are in a separate branch of government to hold the whole executive branch responsible. You have the power to sanction, to put bills in place. Don't you think it would be in the interest for good sanity and security of the state that when these young people they should do this, because it kind of reawaken their minds of the past things that they used to do. It kind of like gradually drag them into it.
So you need a law that will say political parties can have youth brigade or youth session, but they should not wear they should not be in uniform, or they should not show
I think there must, what I'm saying here, Honorable, there must be some sort of fine line. And I'm willing to send my personal suggestion to your office as to how, and you guys can add on that. But what I'm saying, when you look at today, and you agree with me, some of these are 10 years, 15 years, and all of that. These people, these were the same attire these people were wearing yesterday during the civil crisis. I mean, let's be honest here. Those are the same thing that they were wearing.
You want a restriction to be placed on political parties?
I think there must be a limitations to these malicious. You can have a youth wing. The youth wing must behave like a youth wing, not this sort of malicious step and the kind of things that are involved. I don't see that. Even things Sierra Leone also went through a war crisis. That's a different country. I don't want to make that comparison that much. It might not sound right here to any other people here, but I'm just only saying for the security of our country. It doesn't look. We have international donors there. They might not talk, but they expect us to use our good judgment. We are still going through a transitional process. And then you have both the government is entrenched, and that's how this security network is built. From the Taylortown, the Helen Johnson side, we're hearing that the CD, they call Zebra unit, whatever unit transfer, and some of them has embedded into state security without no basic training. Now, your CPP, if they come to power today with all of these people sour, you guys going to bring them again. That's oversizing the government. And then was there no money to get paid?
No, I think what we need to do is to use existing laws to deal with any excesses on behalf of these groups. The only institution that we should have problem is where, for example, the city government has a city police that is wearing uniform, that is trained at the police academy to carry on all city protection services. For that institution that is already provided for by law to be augmented by an auxiliary group, trained and sometimes armed, and what we see in Monrovia is what the law does not speak to that. But that is something that we can speak to that and make sure it does not exist. But political parties having their youth group and they decide to wear their uniform, it's also good for people to identify them when there's trouble somewhere so they will know which of the groups that did it. There are laws on the book for any hooliganism, like what happened in district number 13, where political rallies were disrupted, people were beaten, blood was spilled. District 15, similar thing happened. The law needed to take its course. That is an issue you don't need new law for. So as it relates to the DDRR not being complete yet, we still see former combatant equally. So it's wrong to bring those very guys that they were not ex-generals, they were not ex-soldiers, they were ex-combatants. And
Yeah,
they were non-state.
exactly. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. These people get a call to say they are going to arrest a sitting lawmaker. I don't agree with my honorable Younquoi with some of his utterance and all of that, but it was absolutely wrong. These people coming under the disguise of government officials and giving the sitting lawmaker an ultimatum. That's so ridiculous. That's part of it. That they empower these people. Now they are doing it today. Who knows whether you guys going to do the same thing as well?
No. I don't see anybody. I don't see anybody in the CPP that is going to countenance that. If there anything, we have to rehabilitate them. These people need to be resettled. We need the ones that have ages in their favor need to be given some education, and so that they can be transformed to join the nation building process. The older ones need to be somehow resettled, give them some way of seeing them out of the public glare. But we want to ingratiate them into the body politics, especially in the security arena, especially by the ruling party, is a little bit difficult because they are coming not as the police is, not as the army is, because army is trained to take care of the state, to protect the state as well, and then the police is there to maintain law and order and the rest of it. So, but these people who are non-state actors, we don't know what kind of motivation they are giving them. And so I'm sure the CPP government is not going to encourage that. I am not going to be part of any process that is going to be encouraging auxiliaries and things like that. But the young people of the parties are operating within the ambit of the rules and regulations of their respective parties. ANC has been taking drastic action of late, suspending people who wouldn't behave correctly. Even you went to other parties, nothing has been done. They got their own rule. Even to organize auxiliaries, they got long things, over 20 things that you must do, including even registering every Secretary General and those concerned. We have to know, and then the executive committee will recognize, so that when you go out there, you call yourself ANC XYZ as an auxiliary, you will know that the party knows about them. Otherwise, and that it's not an arbitrary institution. I'm sure it will go all over the full party. So you are right. Those that took part in the war, that government is trying to bring them, it is not advisable for it to be done so. Institutions that were already established by law that have been given the right to recruit its own security and train them like the city council should not also be bringing other people on board. And the conduct of all of the political youth are under the restriction of the law. If you call yourself Sabu unit or ANC, whatever group, you go and physically attack anybody, you can be arrested and be prosecuted under the law. But I'm not sure any law needs to be made. You can say people can form political party, the youth group must be there, but they must not be in uniform, they must not talk loud, they must not shout about their head. No, those are things that create it gives zeal to people to mobilize and bring other people on board. That was the intention. Even at the university, way before they coming into this.
Is that intention going over the edge?
Pardon me?
Is that intention going over the edge? We're saying that. I said the intentions of having this group to, like you said, to bring zeal, is it going over the edge? Because we have heard reports of some of these. At the end of the day, they use these same very people to attack opponents, to either attack opposition, to attack individuals who speak. So it's like going over the edge. So there should be some sort of a redirection here.
No, we don't need to strengthen our criminal justice system. The justice ministry needs to bugger up. The police must be there to bring people under control. But
you have the 163 men and women, which is a separate entity of government. You hold the executive branch of government responsible. The justice ministry is under the executive branch of government. You are a separate institution that should hold the executive branch of government responsible. Now you directly, I'm not sure what are you on that committee here, but is the committee on the House or from the upper house, Senate, are they calling these people to chambers? That's their job, is to call these people and point out the ills in society. That should not happen. It should not be happening. And let the Liberian people see it. But it seems not to happen. Sometimes the House call these people, they disrespect you. They don't even show up. And you don't talk. You don't say anything. And yeah, you represent us.
Well, we have actually been calling them. We have been calling the Ministry of Justice and other people responsible for maintenance of security. And there have also been instances where requests for them to be cited have been denied. by the presiding officers. But you know that there was a time where we even jailed Deputy Minister Fagon. We had to insult a lawmaker, although we didn't jail him for insulting, because under the law, what is admissible before the law, you cannot take it to the plenary. If any lawmaker said that he was insulted, you could take him to court. But we held him in contempt because he failed to appear on time, which is our prerogative. And so there have been instances. I can remember when the brutality in District 18 took place, letters were written to that effect. And the speaker at the time decided to do what he could do with it. I think the late Adolf Lorry was the one that wrote that letter. So there have been instances where we have called for us to look within the Constitution and see how our functions will be, to call on the plenary to invite these people. And we are succeeded in doing some, or some, because of partisan solidarity, the presiding officer has decided to keep it the way it should be. So, of course, all is not rosy, but we are not forgetting about our responsibility. But saying it in one thing and implementing it is another thing. And you don't want to have a government that will have another branch running to the court to compel. For example, you can go to the Supreme Court and get rid of Madamus to compel the executive branch to do what it needs to do, or to even compel the presiding officer to do what it needs to do. But is this the kind of government you want? A government that came after a war? You don't want that. That's why when something happens, we just talk until the appropriate time. For example, when right now, what is in Liberia now, the state of emergency is not supposed to be existing. But the apparatus are still in place. The lawmakers did not pass on it. It's clear. But yet it's been implemented some kind of way. But these are the situations. So you do want a government where you have members going to court in order to have things done. That's why we have to talk to make sure there must be reasoning somewhere so that our country can be together as one unit. You can only change the leadership, but you can have the country going so that we can have something to live with our people. You are right. You are right. There are a lot of excesses, but what we are now is to enforce the law. Any attempt for us not to enforce the law, this thing will come in different form. And so it's not the right thing to bring ex-general on the political space outside there. It's not good for political parties to recruit thugs and empower them to get them out there where they beat people and the rest of it. It's not good. But the law must take its course. That's why we are praying that we will get to that point. If not this government, then the next government will have to be able to maintain law and order. That's the only way investors will come in the country and the rest of it. So that's
we're going to be putting the number out there. I made a mistake, so it'll be to Honorable Younquoi, do you think you deserve second term for the second or third term for the people of Nima County? You still want to be on capital?
I'm already in my second term.
You want to go for third term?
The sky is the limit to what I can provide Liberian people.
Is that yes to my question?
I still deserve to be in government.
Is that meaning yes?
Well, the issue of third term, you see, I don't have necessarily be a member of the House of Representatives to be in government. Why do you think I can't go for the Senate? Why do you think I can't go for the presidency? So,
your next target is the Senate, right?
I'm still interested in being in a position where I can speak for my people, where we can checkmate situation in this country. If it means serving for the third term, nothing wrong with that. If it means going onto another level to experiment, nothing wrong with that. But the good thing is that you should put yourself in propitious position to be utilized by the community when they need you. That's why whenever we see people trying to subject other folks to collective guilt, we distinguish ourselves. The establishment of the Independent Legislative Caucus was to show that, yes, when you say all of us are spineless, the legislature is rotting, some people will say yes. But there are some people who said they were not interested in that. They said and said, sir. Yes, collectively, the branch of government we belong to can be abused, can be said they are liars, they take bribe. But when you go there to the fine tune, you see some people who say, no, this is not good. When issues come forward, let us thoroughly discuss it. So that tomorrow we had this Eton deal, Eton loan. We have the Igbo math. We came and said, no, let's look at it. Let's look at this. There are certain things that no, let the thing go. Even if money comes from any devil, we accept it. Where are we today? We are trying to de-rectify. So many, 4 or 5 different laws have come. We didn't do due diligence. It's backfiring in our faces. So next time we are learning our lesson. I'm sure we'll listen. Even if you are in opposition, the presiding officer will listen so that you don't have something by firing every now and then at you and it makes you look ridiculous.
Honorable, I'm not sure whether you are seeing it. Let me go to the call here, but let me just go to the call here. Hello, caller. What's your name and where are you calling from?
Mr. So, good afternoon. This is Cindy. Let me say hello to Honorable Larry Younquoi for making feeling himself again to talk to us in the diaspora and around the world. I have a question, and this is actually tricky me. I was going to call him later anyway. We've seen that to see what is happening in your neighborhood, on your continent, to be able to speak on it. We see that Zambia is now literally owned by China based on the loan that they have been taking. They can't pay back those loans. Angola is also in the same predicament, if not worse. They may never be able to pay China back. Then you have Kenya, who is almost in the same line. Ghana President avowed, Nana Addo, because the loans were taken before he came to being. I think you think he rejecting loans and all of that. All about $3.7 billion to the Chinese government, with the same thing that Liberia, the same process that Liberia is going through now. If you remember, I think you guys just talked about the IFOMAT loan and the IFOMAT loan and all of that. You, myself, and many advocates have to actually do a lot of investigation with their Fatiga brother, protecting and bringing that to light, just as we did with Noah Bodiki documentations and his citizenship and his integrity. Now, majority of the Liberian and raw material in Liberia, where most of our people have survived on, where our parents used to sell, have the market to sell to educate our people who were in government. Okay, now we see that this particular regime is giving foreigners monopoly over these and restricting Liberia, actually tying Liberia hand behind their back. I understand there should be a contract or concession coming up that the House will be looking at, and it's about, I think, Sonian Brothers, which is a group of Lebanese, that they will get the cocoa contract, that all cocoa will have to go through them before it leaves the country. How do you all believe that Liberian can survive if all her resources, all her market is allocated to foreigners, Indian, Chinese, Lebanese, and how do we survive? What nation, and this is my last question, is there any nation, so I can, and I was going to ask him this question, is there any nation in the world that anyone can point me out to? It's not particularly to you. I'm talking to all the lawmakers. Maybe you can pass it on to your friend. That you know that have progressed or succeeded based on foreign national being in leadership or controlling the market and taking out all of their foreign, their hard currency out of the country. Do we know any country that has done that, especially in all of Africa? So that would be my question.
Okay.
And this question you can pass on to the rest of the people. Thank you so much for allowing me. And thank you to Honorable Younquoi. Okay. All right. Bye.
Yeah. Okay. Want to go ahead quickly, then I'll go to the Honorable, but we'll soon be wrapping up here. 612, are you there? 612, number 3168. 612, are you there? Okay. Okay. Hello, 612, are you there? Okay. Honorable, are you there?
Yes, sir. I'm here.
Okay, go ahead. I didn't really get it, but I know that was very extensive, very long question. Go ahead.
No, it can be summarized into two. She was concerned about a law that is being brought,
right. Yeah,
to allow foreign people to monopolize the cocoa industry. And the second one, if any nation has,
you gotta hold on. I'll let the Honorable finish.
Progress with foreign nationals being in charge of the economy. So what I can say is that I know that we're able to, at a certain point in time, change LPMC that used to control the produce of Liberia into Liberia Produce Regulatory Authority, and meaning that the FPMC that used to buy cocoa and coffee was no longer, that agency was no longer able to buy and sell. It was not responsible to regulate this product, the produce, and then private people were supposed to take over the purchase and sales, and it would be licensed by that LACRA group. And then lately, we saw an amendment to that law wanting us to take LACRA back to FPMC so that people can have the freedom to also buy. And the contentions were there. The cocoa growers came and said that no, they didn't want it. They wanted the thing to remain what it is now. And there are other people who feel that way in Ghana and other places. They have national cocoa board, they have national days. And when you got the regulatory activity, they can do it to make sure the farm market for it and the rest of it. So it's something to look at. People know that Liberian people do not have the capital. So either way, whether you leave it for Liberia to control it, they will still have to get back there and take money from private business people and almost be like an agent for those people. That's what we are being accustomed to. I said, where government is said we have to prioritize the empowerment of our farmers.
Oh, hold on, guys. I'll bring you on.
By putting money into those services, and so that farmers can come and take some loan to produce these crops, and Liberia markets them and have the profit and the rest of it. So that law is before us. We didn't pass it. We are not passing prior to my departure, whether we should do the amendment. So you are right. Your concerns are well taken. We have had a public hearing on that. The committee responsible for that had a number of public hearing. And while at the same time, the Lebanese concern, we're also having calling committee members and having public hearing with them to understand why it should be done. But that is a concern. And we in opposition, if we are not able to effect anything now, we will definitely ensure, because those are areas where the safety valve has to be strengthened. Liberia is poor because we are too loose with our economy. And if it answers the same question, and I'm not sure it is advisable for the economy to be in the hand of national foreign national. It doesn't lend itself to changing anything. But you can also open your arm, putting the right regulation in place so that everybody can be an actor. As you are an actor, you must live according to the law. So you cannot come from the country to sell its soul to a foreign country. You cannot progress. So you are right. The concerns are all good that they are coming alternatives, and people are listening and people are taking note. And so at the appropriate time, we'll be addressing it. But as it says now, even our constitution does not permit that to happen. That's why they say Liberia is a racist country. Equally so, that's what they get a chance leasing property. So they are leasing property now through our sisters and through marriage and the rest of it, or they are leasing property because that.
Okay, let me go to the. All right, let me go to the. Let me go to the line here quick here before we wrap up here. 612 number 3168. What's your name and where you calling from?
Yeah, I'm calling from Minnesota.
Okay, what's your name? What's your question, please?
Yeah, my question. I don't want to make a question. I wanted to make a comment. I don't.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, make a comment. One is within the framework of our discussion.
Yeah, I believe that. Like I listened to the honorable, and he talked about having the desire to go for third term. That is something critical that we need to look at. I think you need to give chance now to others to have that opportunity if that time reaches. But what I wanted to say, Mr. So, is
you went for a job, right?
What is the name, please?
What I want to say is that I don't really see the CPP to be the alternative for Liberia after I have listened to several, members of the CPP. Because one of the major reasons why I think that the CPP is just a strategy to remove George Weah from power. Like you really said, that what are some of the plans that they have for Liberia, which is the most important thing? Are they just coming to power to just remove George Weah, or they are coming to power to settle the score to change things in the country due to our long years of suffering? And the reason why I say this is because we still see the same recycling of the Unity Party people in power. And these few days, they call Ellen. And one of the things I want to say is that I strongly believe that the Unity Party sees Ellen as the hero, and that will never be taken away from them. They believe that Ellen was a hero, and they have confidence and trust in her up to now. And once that is still there, we don't see the Liberian, we don't see Liberia moving forward anytime soon. Even if these group of people come together to work together, because they do not see the leadership of Ellen to be the leadership that has failed the Liberian people. They don't see that, and that must be established in order for this particular CPP to go forward. And there are some people that need to be weed out. Needs to be weed out of the CPP, and not because
who, for example, who is example for who could be the perfect example?
Well, I would not want to call name now. Maybe on a different day, I will send that.
So why you never waited for the different day? You want through the deplorable basket,
even,
right? You want
so even the very man you interviewing, these are all people. The very man you interview, but I don't want to say all of these. Those are things that we need to understand, that the Unity Party have ruled for several years. They had the opportunity, even the Joseph Human podcast.
Okay, Tara, make your question brief now. I'm out of time. Let me go to the next person. I'm going to be coming. I will come to you. Yeah, go ahead. 763-4113. Go ahead. What's your question?
Mr. Soul, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
This is Sandy from the city of Albuquerque, New Mexico.
Okay, so Sandy, go ahead. How are you?
All right. Well, Honorable Younquoi, I just want to first take this time to commend you for your the time you have spent here with us. I also want to commend you for your bravery in stepping up against the negative rhetoric from the senator of Nima County, senior senator of Nima County, Senator Prince Johnson. So I want to thank you for for that. I know, and I'm sure you are aware that Senator Johnson is still in the mindset of the Liberian civil crisis. Unfortunately, he still attacked the Crown people where I'm from Grand Jita, especially our brothers and sisters in Lower Nima, in the Babli district of Nima County. But my question to you, being someone who is always attacked by Senator Johnson, do you believe that the people of Babli district are benefiting from the county equally compared to the rest of Nimadian? And what is your personal relationship with the people of Babli district? Are you helping to address some of the issues that those people are facing, some of the attacks that they are getting from Senator Johnson?
All right. Thank you. Okay, Arnold, go ahead.
Well, thank you very much, Mr. So. My only disappointment is that the second guy that talked, I didn't get his name. Didn't stress for you.
Terry.
Okay. All right. Terry. Well, Sister yesterday, I think we addressed it. Terry did not really ask a question. He made a lot of
right.
He made a statement. He made statements, which I think we now really want to dignify. I said the CPP does not have any plan. I don't just want to get Joshua out of power. I just want to let him know that it's more than that. The CPP is being scientifically put together, learning from past experiences to ensure that we present something good to the Liberian people. Ellen situation, we leave it with the constituent party, Unity Party, to take care of it, because we don't want to cross the line. This is a relationship we are building. If they feel that she is the founder of the modern Unity Party that came as a result of the collaboration that she helped to bring to pass, and therefore they need to do business with her. That's up to them, and then so we can't come from another party to go to that. But otherwise than that, his views are his, and at the end of the day, we know what's up. Mr. Sandy talk about commending me for my standing up against the rhetoric of Senator Johnson against some of the minorities in our area. That's good, and that's basically what some of us want to do, and to ensure that there is mutual respect. It's not really my pleasure to always go at loggerhead with somebody who is, for lack of better words, respected by the political class of the country because of the role he played in contemporary history of the country, being a leader of a warring faction that dramatically brought the war to some end, giving way for international community to come in. And but when you use these scenarios, which led to the loss of a sitting president, it's also somebody, some people, child that was also representing the country. We should forget about reminding people. That's why I continue to remind him that it's not good. So basically, and I hope we can recognize that, and so it cannot be repeated. But with my relationship with the Kwabili people, I think we are moving far. And personally, we have not had a chance to visit them because sometimes if I need to do so, I need to get in contact with district nurses, representing that I want to go visit your people. But what I know is that whenever issues come on the floor, we always make sure that if I have my own way, if a superintendent, sometimes it's good to give the superintendent position to the minority people. I don't give it to a B man or you give it to a crown man or the Madigo people. Then we the big people remain there. Because we can always use our strength to have elected position. We can always use our strength. The president in the mansion will always use us to look at the strength of the tribes involved and say, look, I think these people, I need to make them ministers so that they can protect me. But the smaller ones, nobody knows them. So this is our position. It was a very good pick for the development superintendent to come from Kwabili. I did extensive NGO job in Old Town, European New Town, Dubuzon, Bata. These are places that we went there during our NGO years during the war. But
so
as I said, our official position to protect them, that the minority have their say, the majority have their day. Let me make sure the minority are protected, and that's my philosophy, and we'll continue to do it. But let me just say one last thing about what Terry said about third term. Terry, you have even the civil rights leader that just died 2 years ago. He was in power for 30 years. I know Senator Ted Kennedy was
liberal from Massachusetts.
Where we were just say drinking our mother's breast. That's the time he began. 1959, the guy became senator. He died after 50 years as a senator. So what are you trying to say? I just been there. I'm going to my 12th year. If my people call me to go back for 18 years, I will do. If there's an opportunity for me to go for a better position than representative, I will go back. So don't sit down and say, I want to go for that. And you come in Liberia and get interested in and get up against me. You know, I don't need this job to survive, but I can't sit down on the fence for things to go the way we have opened these debates. Can you imagine me sitting down after 2023 to sit down as an ordinary human being in Liberia? We have to be there to guide the process. And so the one I got already, that's why I'm stepping on. If there are time for me to relinquish it so I can go for something bigger when the time comes, we're talking. So I'm not sure whether you even come from the area, so you cannot even talk about my district the way you're supposed to be talking. But I'm very happy that the issues can come up. We are very happy that we have made ourselves a tool for transformation. We always speak truth to power. We are not perfect, but we make sure that we can generate the debate and make sure we have more people that will have different mindset when they enter public service. And that's our mission. We hope that when we return to Liberia, we have the opportunity to even get once in a while, maybe every 2 weeks, on a show like this, which will be moderated by ourselves, to tell the people from a proactive point of view instead of always going after people when they come and say something uncomplimentary, but we will be telling them something fresh, and so that we can start building new Liberia. And I think in that way, most of the problems that we are raising, like the human rights aspect, the advocacy angle from which so you are sending and all come from, and then we start addressing some of these issues. And I can tell you guys in the diaspora, you're doing well. You got all of these radio shows and video shows that you guys are making. People listen to them, and it's impacting the society. So you guys should go ahead. And when I come on the kind of show, I don't fight people. You can say anything you want to say. The problem we have is more than my one satisfaction. So I want to thank you for the opportunity, and those that participated. If there are others, they can come on board.
Okay, yeah. I mean, just pick the last call here from, I believe, from Euro. Are you there, caller?
Yeah, Mr. Alphonso. Good evening.
Good evening. What's your name and where are you calling from?
My name is Ricky. I'm calling from Belgium.
Belgium. How are you today? What's your question to the honorable?
Fine, sir. Well, I'm just a political party. Question to the honorable. He been in power for the past 12 years. What has he done to the in Nimba country that we the Nimba can be proud of? So yes, this honorable is a hard-working man. What is it actually in Nimba country as a leader? Because but we only see he criticizing and going after Prince Johnson, but he himself, he's talking, but there's no blueprint that we can see yet. This honorable is working hard in the interest of the Nimbayan people. And
I want to know your
I'm just listening to him talking different superintendent position to Mandingo people and whatever. But is he saying that Nimbayan should also make improvement as a superintendent? Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you. Let me go to that's the last person for the day. 503 number, are you there?
Yes, I'm here, sir.
Okay, go ahead quickly.
Thank you so much. I got a little question for the honorable man. I was going along with you guys, and you said something like somebody asked about new faces coming in, and you said, to my knowledge, that it will be a risk of the political party. So I just have a little question for him. You know, as a family man, as you getting older, you get your kids ready so that they can overtake whatever you will leave behind. So is there any plan, or are they doing anything to get the young forces ready to be equipped politically? Or is there any plan they have in the future to implement to help those young people come on board? That's the question I have for him.
Okay, thank you. Okay, go ahead. That's the last caller for the day. We're going to cut it off.
Okay, so the guy from Germany, what he said, he was Richard Wu. I wanted to know his name good.
Rich, I don't, Richie, he called his name.
You know, when people want to call, sometimes let them give their whole name. Then, you know, sometimes we can establish new contact with them for more.
Right.
Yeah, whatever it is, he said, what have I done? The question can be answered in line with what did I go in the house to do? I went in the house to advocate for my people to ensure that they had some relief in the way they have been handled in the past, as far as especially when it comes to the distribution of national cake. My strength has actually been in advocacy. For example, in my district, there was a company there called Liberia Company, which is known as the Cocoa Rubber Corporation. I saw it in the hands of some companies that have been there since 1949. And when I was running campaign, I said, if I were to win, we're going to change the scenario. Today, those people, based on the document that they came with, which they were paying 6 cents per acre, that company has since left. They pay everybody off, handsome stuff. And that company, the plantation has been turned over to another company that is already in charge. Instead of 6 cents per acre per annum, that company is going to be giving $3.50 per acre per annum for the first 15 years. The second 15 year, they will be paying $5 per annum per acre as a stumpage fee, which goes to the community as social development fund. Then 1%, when it comes to royalty sharing, the affected community got 1% of the gross revenue of that company to go to the community, notwithstanding the scholarship and the improvement of health facility and educational facility in those areas. At least, if there is nothing I can point to, we were able to change the ownership of Cocoa Rubber Plantation, and we were able to make sure that has it. Right now, we are behind the government of Liberia to review the ArcelorMittal concession agreement, which my country is the host. And if we were to apply the same thing that we apply to what is happening to Cocoa, we were to apply it to ArcelorMittal, and the income of the countries that are hosting this company, the Bon, the Basel, and Nimba, coupled with even Liberia's own royalty, is going to increase tremendously. There are a lot of infrastructure that the road network from Ganta right behind the river crossing to Picana that used to be in the hands of Lamco that was controlling the company had now gone to the government of Liberia. And so for the past 15, 16 years, that road is derelict, it's lying in ruins because government itself does not even have money to maintain the main road that is going to the southeast. Let's talk about a component road that will be maintaining. So we're trying to make sure that road goes back into it. There has been discussed at the level of the Justice Ministry, at the level of the Lands and Mines and Internal Affairs Ministry. This concession agreement review is going to make sure that goes back in it. These are the kind of things I like to associate myself with. I'm not here to talk about what I've been in terms of the clinic. I will not work for 9 years for information. I'm not in the house for 12 years. I'm potentially supposed to be there for 12 years, but I just exhausted the first. I'm just there for 9 years now. I still got my 3 years ahead of me. So you can rest assured, I'm here to transform laws. We have made a lot of laws. We have made a lot of vetting of laws that are there to transform the life of the Liberian people. And so I'm not only there to criticize anybody. You talk about, I said, Madigo Mayor or Crime and being superintendent. I'm simply trying to underscore the fact that sometimes for us to ensure egalitarianism into how we run our politics in our country, we need to impress on the president to even appoint a leader of the country from the minority group, because we are already having reason to be pay attention to because of our shared numbers. But these people like the Gwi and Doru, the Crown people and the Madingo people, if we can allow them to play certain role, like those days I used to see Tobotan when Dumba was superintendent, Asmana Krumah was one of the, I think, development superintendent or country inspector, and other people were there. So it was balancing. So this is what I'm trying to say. We have a serious situation in our country. The only way we can address it is to open up to make sure the minority feel a part. And so I'm there as a change agent. You don't have to accept it, but my role can show that. So you can rest assured. The last caller talked about the young people. What we say, my brother, we were not saying that young people should not be given chance. Madam Salim was president. He trusted a lot of, not too young people per se, but middle-aged people with responsible jobs. Honorable Gonglo was county inspector and later on Minister of Labor. Kofi Woods was Minister of Public Works, Minister of Labor. And then you have Gafuan then rose from Budget Bureau to Minister of Finance, Minister of Foreign Affairs, Amara Kone, Minister of Planning. So there are a lot of young guys, meaning that run from 50 downward, they were in government and they perform. So what you think a CPP government that is basing its strength on young people, we want to get there and suffocate the young people, but that's not it. The question I was answering was that, is it seeing all the political leaders that are going to be there, or you're opening up to young people? I said, well, the young people are in the process of being orientated, especially so we are taking risks by putting some of them there if I'm my own way. But the way our country has been taken back in terms of the foundation that was laid, how we are setting aside our laws, how we are doing something in a way that shows that we need to start. Again, we still need the experience of the old people. And what I said, if as a governing council man, if I get there tomorrow, my advice will be, look, one of you old guys gotta be there because you know what it takes. And the young guys come and become ministers. And the young guys come and become lawmakers. Then they learn tomorrow, then they can have the opportunity. This is why I intend to say, but not that the young people will be marginalized. You can't survive a political group by marginalizing young people. That's not what we are saying. But notwithstanding, the young people can put themselves out to take part in primary, and when the Senate membership, we put in there. The delegates can put in there what else. So, but I'm just saying, I'm giving my candid opinion on what I think should be done. Liberia cannot afford to experiment again. So we got to put somebody who already knows what to put in to develop the place.
Okay, quickly here before we go here, I can't let this go without having this honorable. You being a change agent, honorable, what was your involvement? Peter Kangwe, I remember, was appointed in the early days of President Weir, making the appointment. Peter Kangwe was appointed, and because I had the opportunity to interview then Superintendent Dor Kopo, Prince Johnson stood his ground and said no, and today, that was it. Are you involved? Are you aware of that scenario?
I'm very much aware. That way, my brother Richard, who did not call his full name, he says, I'm here, always criticizing. That's all I do, and he wanted to know what I do. Let him come to Liberia. Let me take him to the district. I was very, very vocal about Kamwe issue. Because the delegation of the Kwabi concerned citizens came to me at my office, and I told people that it was not good to have this opportunity that's come our way for some of our minority group to feed and say part of the country. It was not good for that statement that I cannot work with a crime man to be continuous and for that man to go without that job.
Yeah. All of that development, I know what you are doing. I just thought you were going to bring it out. I just wanted to give you the opportunity to.
So the justification was that, oh, the man is qualified, the man got a master's degree. We told the president to give him a ministerial job. Let the other people who just got 1 degree or so, let them hold the job. Where is the job today? And so, because our senator told us that after the election, they gave 65% of the appointment in the country. So when the superintendent, out of his desire to balance the representation, decided to go at that level to recommend Mr. Conway, and he was moved from there, and then it became so bad that the senator had to say that the president will give him a job. Up to this time, we have not gotten a job for him. So those are some of the problems we are facing. Even though there is a very big platform, I don't want to sit down here and come discuss my country, and a lot of people are not feeling pleasant about the way we can be handling things. But if we want to be a change agent, we should not miss our word. Like, for example, while the Mandingos and the Muslims of Nimba were gathering in Kanta to dedicate their mosque that got obliterated during the war and was rebuilt, and people came from all over, even from America and Guinea and everywhere to go and launch that. I was pressed, Senator was on the air that Nimba belongs only to Q and Mano people. I had to come in right away. As I said, Johnson, your statement, the timing is bad. The country got visitors from the diaspora, from neighboring countries that have come to identify with a major religious group. And these people have been with us. When you say that only Q and Mano have Nimba country, I went over there and attack it. And my situation is that I'm not going to sit down, things that will draw all of us into the mud, for us to be saying, and anybody feel that we are supposed to be respecting each other. If you feel that you can say anything to put all of us in the mud and go away, I'm not going to allow it. Because at the end of the day,
how long will you go with this attack?
I'm not attacking. I'm not responding. I will go as long as I continue to persist. Period.
Okay.
I'm clear on this. And it's working. Whether you like it or not, it's working. Give me the next opportunity to look at the CPP government and see how we work with the product to stress in the country. It's working.
Let me bring this to your development here quickly here. Our judicial correspondent is reporting and the reason I'm breaking this out here, you were one of those who stood the ground. You were very firm on the printing of the 10 billion Liberian dollar. You spoke vehemently against that, that it wasn't a good thing. Now, our judicial correspondent is reporting that the 53rd Legislative Assembly, Larry Younquoi, not Larry Younquoi, what his name is, Younquoi. Younquoi is saying that he did not authorize the printing of this money. It comes back to your point. I wish you were in Liberia today, and let's pretend that you were in Liberia. Maybe you are going to be facing the microphone. Now you are facing the microphone of the Liberia Public Radio. What can you tell the Liberians that are listening now?
You say the 10 billion, right? That came, which brought up this 6 billion, right?
Right.
Now
he's testifying before criminal court say that he did not authorize any printing. So it's a real drama now. I mean, just 6 hours ago, news just breaking out here. I will send it to you. Maybe you're going to look at the in-depth or a. But I also was following your argument on the floor why it wasn't good for the country.
Oh yes, the former speaker is not saying anything new. As a matter of fact, I know of a request for the permission billion, and I signed onto that request because it's part of our fiduciary responsibility to ensure that the country is not strangulated, especially when we were convinced beyond doubt that there was a need to print additional money because the country was going out of liquidity. Unfortunately, what followed was that instead of 5, we heard of 10.5 billion was printed, meaning that 5.5 billion were added on what we planned.
Right.
So that 5 billion was printed and the 10 extra one. So the speaker is saying that he does not know. It is not my first time hearing that, but because the legislature only approved of 5. But what might happen was that out of criminal malevolence and other things. People wanted to make sure that the legislature signed on something and then they went and did their own thing. And then the truth is very difficult to come. We're hearing that nearly 51% or so of that money was delivered while Mrs. Lee was still in power, but over 78% was delivered into the country during his administration. And that's how come we have had this elongated investigation, one after another. After Crow report, we got a presidential report. From there, we send it to GAC, we send it to LCC, because the truth has not been told. Once the truth has not yet been told, we continue to extend this thing from one place to another. So I was there. Recently, the $4 billion that just came in. Again, they requested us that they need money because the mutilated money needed to be replaced and the blah, blah, blah. I was saying that I'm not going to sign for $4 billion because there was rumor that the money that came is stay with people. If we allow it to be printed, people will use the presence of that money to bring the money that they have already in keeping to use it. It's coming to pass. I was able to sign on a $30 billion that they requested because it was going to be a new family of vendors. It was not going to be the same $20 we're using, the same $50 we're using, even the $500 we're using. That I signed because the country that means new money was going to be printed. Now that we signed, it hasn't come to pass. But the $4 billion, I said no. As long as it is the same money, I'm not going to sign it. I didn't sign it. You go there today, you just see it. So it has come by the north is in the country that people are using money all over. I don't know. So you are right. If the speaker is saying that the legislature did not approve of more than $5 billion.
Somebody needs to go to jail.
People went to jail, came from there, they are free. So what else?
I mean, they are not there. Do you think somebody to really need to be behind the iron bars? That's criminal in nature.
Of course. The criminal malevolent aspect of it, the fact that the board of directors of the central bank and those that were handling the central bank usurped the function of the legislature to sign on to a board resolution to print that amount of money in question when they didn't have the legislative backing. That is enough. But again, maybe they put them off the hook for them to continue with the investigation as it is being proceeded. But I believe that that money cannot easily be swept under the carpet. And so that's how it's coming. But at least we are getting there. Those who are saying that we just have fanatic work, these are some of our track records that we need to look at. And lawmakers did not go there to build clinic, to build school. But what is your impact on public policy? How do you stay in a gap? Because for every time we overlook these things, our people suffer. When the money, we create a corridor for it to go into private pockets instead of it going into national accounts, you seriously have a problem of meeting up with the other or social amenities of the country. So this is the situation.
All right.
Thank you.
How about what do you make about Senator Tiaget chilling to revelation?
It is bad.
And
so
and what nice? It's bad and what next?
I don't know. Maybe the Senate. I think the Senate leadership has taken action. The removing of his committee chairmanship, and maybe they have their own rule to deal with it. But under normal conditions,
do you think he's part of his party is part of the CPP? Do you think such a person should be well accommodated and placed in high-profile position with that sort of behavior?
Hey man, why you want me to be so personal? I think that behavior was not good.
It's honorable, not personal, because these people, and that's how it starts. And I'm not holding you because
you know that
you got, and that's the fellow. Go ahead.
You are a journalist. The senator, there's not a first time he had been in the news before.
The man was convicted. That's what I'm saying. So I am afraid the man was convicted when he was superintendent. I am afraid now, having this kind of people here of a group that is on the path to change agent. His party is there. I have not seen anybody coming out to kind of denounce, to condemn his actions. He's part of
let me leave him with his party. Let me leave him with the Senate. And of course, the state security. These are issues that in some countries, it will be invited and to address it at the level of the even state security. He is my very good colleague. I don't want to, because some people can misinterpret people, but I think it's good the track record. And I told you the Senate already taking record by first of all taking his responsibility from him.
Do you want tougher action be taken? For example, a select committee to go further down. We need to know more than what he has told the public.
This is what I can say. It's unfortunate. It's unfortunate. I can only say this far. In fact, this issue is already in court. Okay, so I can only say that it was unfortunate that the senator made that statement. So that's how far I can stop. I'm not countenancing anything wrong.
Do you have that culture in your office?
But
do you have that culture?
No.
Okay. I just
no. In the first place, I don't have confirmation power. But if I have to,
I know. I'll tell you. Maybe you have another culture because
I'm chairing governance, so the governance commission, census people, and other people who are provide oversight. I don't go to them and say implore this person before I do this for you. No.
Will you speak to your colleagues? Will you speak with the colleagues in the upper house here to say, hey, this is not good for all of us? It's as member of the good governance. That's not a good governance. Will you speak to your colleagues in the upper house on that?
Yes, we normally do that. In fact, the governance chairman, Senator Global Brown, and myself appear on so many forums together. So he knows my position on some of these issues. So it's regrettable that that statement was made by one of our lawmakers, and it was also put on tape. And that's how far I want you to let me.
That is shameless. And I know you, Honorable, you don't want to demean your person, your colleague, because all of you here, but you know, this kind of behavior we put in there. You guys are there to represent, whether he's from Sando or from whatever land, as long as he's a lawmaker, they must be respected. But if they do this kind of thing, then it gives people the cause that Capitol building is indeed contaminated. And that kind of behavior is just so ridiculous. Well, the Honorable Larry P. Younquoi, I want to thank you so much for your time. What a great engagement and making the final stop on your way to Liberia. What's your departing statement, sir?
Well, thank you very much. I just want to actually congratulate you guys. Since I came here, we have had a lot of interaction. These platforms that you guys have, the Circle Show, your show, even our brother Lobo, Costa, Selling, all the other ladies who are also in the area of protecting women's rights, the rape issue, those that are interested in the war crime stuff and the rest of it. You guys are happy because with the preponderance of social media outlets, most of these clips are distributed among them. And people who don't have the chance to listen to us live are also understanding how the situation is back home. And it's working. I want to give kudos to you, and I hope you guys will have the agility and have the resources to sustain what you guys are doing so that we can help to transform our country. We're not perfect, but you'll be with us. We're going to prepare the ground for you guys. It's not bad for you guys to be in the diaspora, but it's equally so not bad for us to be on the ground. So we will hope one day to have the corridor open where you guys can come freely and interact and come. But you're sitting down using the airwave, it's impacting positively on the ground, and we can only hope that you can continue that. But I'm happy that you were able to give me the opportunity to also talk to my people as I pack my load to leave and join Patriots back home, for us to continue with the nation building work. Thank you very much.
All right, that's Honorable Larry P. Younquoi of District Number 8, Nimba County, Republic of Liberia. I will catch up with you during the senatorial. Hopefully, my microphone will catch up with you during the heat of the campaign. Come around December 8th, and I will get a word from you.
Yeah, by that time, yes. By that time, we know all my 15 CPP senatorial candidates, and we'll be able to vouch for all of them.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you so much. And as a tradition here, we're going to give a take-home song to the honorable man. I'm going to be taking into his own Nimba County, where Minister Walker is standing by and for us to give this song here. And so, folks, that's how we're going to do it.
Durabo mayo yo ya dede yo ya yesia karane yo ya karane durabo mayo ye karane ma ye karana yo ya karane durabo mayo yo me ko yinso me ya yinso ye bumba no kakwe yo ya karane durabo mayo ya ke yo ga o ba no salie wo.
Take Honorable Younquoi home and say bon voyage as he returned to service in Liberia. Minister Jemama Walker taking you home, okay?
Thank you.
ye ya dule. Me yo ake ya dog ya wa. Ye yo o kapo ya. Ye yo o ukamu ya dule yo. Apo yo ya ziagala wana blebi kakamae. Aye yo ya kakaya.
All right, well, folks, that does it this afternoon here. I want to say thank you to Younquoi, Larry P. Younquoi of District Number 8, Nimba County, Republic of Liberia here, making his second appearance on the Liberia Public Radio and LPR TV. That's how I want to fake home this afternoon. Tomorrow, 1 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time, I will be right here again. This time, I'm going to be taking the guy from the world stage, from the Kingdom of Morocco, Prophet Key, going to be here, and I'm going to get an insight of who Prophet Key is, and we're going to be having a fascinating discussion. Prophet Key will be my guest here tomorrow. I need to know much, a little bit deeper of Prophet Key and why he talks the way he talks. We must give him the opportunity to understand, to hear from me as well. All right? All right, so that's it, folks. I want to thank you so much. Have a pleasant. For those of you that participated, your comments, your participation, call-ins, and just by tuning in, we say thank you. This is the Liberia Public Radio. The roll call is on to discuss critical issues in Liberia. We want to say it, that's how we're going to bring the curtain to a close here this afternoon. Thank you so much for being here. I'm Alphonso Zean of the Liberia Public Radio and LPR TV. Thank you for being part of this program here. Again, we just want to let you know LPR national correspondent in the provincial state of Zouadrou has reported one COVID-19 case is reported in Grangide County. The first case to be reported, we're going to be getting more details as it becomes available from health authorities. We're going to be making the follow-up. Hopefully it's in tomorrow broadcast. We're going to bring you more development news. In the meanwhile, a COVID-1 case is reported in the provincial, the southeastern side of Liberia, Grangide County. That's the news so far, and we hope health authorities there and local leaders will do everything possible to carry on tracing. It's one person, but who this person has come in contact with to be where we are, that is significant. There will be a big gospel concert coming up here on the 9th of August. Stars, artists from Liberia, Europe, USA, they're going to be participating. Join me tomorrow at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Prophet Key. Go one-on-one with Alphonso Zean of the Liberia Public Radio and LPR TV. We have signed a bilateral treaty that all words that are meant to be used on his network will not be used here, but we'll dance around those words, the significance of them, and much other deeper part. So hopefully that ceasefire will not be broken. We have put everything in place, and I hope that it stays in tight. But I think we must give him the chance. During the Gulf War, Saddam Hussein was interviewed. We need to get to the inner part of people and understand what is happening. There's no way that we can discontinue the people or disconnect them from anything. So I want to thank you so much for being here this afternoon, for being part of this program. Let me see here. I'm getting something from the station manager to Ray Emmanuel comment. I'm not sure what comment is saying. I don't know. We should say Emmanuel. There are a lot of comments been coming here. I don't usually I don't usually like to be distracted unless something ridiculous, then I will take action today. Well, until then, folks, I want to say thank you so much and have a pleasant day. Bye-bye.